I was tagged in this post on Twitter by Craig J, and shout out to Craig, by the way, for tagging me, about this individual right here whose name is Ali Alexander. I've never heard of this guy before a day in my life, so everything that I'm reading right now is brand new to me. And apparently he was the organizer for this Stop the Steal thing involving with 45. As you can see, he has a picture right there with 45, and he has a mugshot in the middle, and there's another picture right here. He looks like a Sammy Davis Jr. knockoff. And when I looked at his pictures, I already knew just by looking at that middle picture that something about him was off. He looks like he's going or trying to go Super Saiyan in that picture. And I'm like, this guy got a whole perm. Yeah, something about him just seems off. But then when I looked at his picture some more, I said, I feel like I've seen a clip of him on TV somewhere. And I think I remember seeing him, but I never knew who he was. I didn't know why he was there. I really didn't care. I just chalked it up to say that he's an idiot. But apparently they said that, and this is coming from the Daily Beast, they said that he is a Stop the Steal organizer, and he's currently in hiding after he denied blame for what occurred this past Wednesday. Now, granted, he probably, put something together, but I know what they're also trying to do. They're trying to put a black face ahead of this thing. Let me just say you right now, as a black man, I do not claim this person, and neither should you. I know what they're trying to do. I'm gonna still call him out on his behavior, but I see what mainstream media is also trying to do with this. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. It said on Sunday night, Twitter banned Ali Alexander's personal account and an account for Stop the Steal. 2 weeks before thousands of Trump invaders breached Congress, Stop the Steal organizer Ali Alexander said his group wasn't violent yet, and he put "yet" in quotations. One of our organizers in one state said, "We're nice patriots, we don't throw bricks," Alexander told a crowd at a December 19th rally at Arizona State's Capitol. "I leaned over and I said, 'Not yet, not yet. Haven't you read about a little tar and feathering? Those were second-degree burns.'" Now, tar and feathering was a practice that was used on slaves during that time against the slave master, and even after that time. And it was a very, very, very brutal act that they did. Alexander, who has described himself as one of the official originators of the January 6th rally in Washington, went on to use "yet" as a code word for violence. Then Alexander told the Phoenix crowd about his plans for Washington. Now, here, this is a quote-unquote black male right here who is organizing this. He's not even denying it at this point that he did this, or that he was organizing this. He says, "We're going to convince them to not certify the vote on January 6th by marching hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of patriots to sit their butts in D.C. and close that city down, right?" Alexander said, "And if we have to explore options after that, yet." Alexander supporters cheered, yelling threats like "noose" and "nothing's off the table." Alexander led a host of activists in ratcheting up the rhetoric ahead of Congress certification of the electoral votes, threatening to 1776 opponents of Trump's reelection. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here you have this black guy who's rallying all these white people, and they're all behind him. They're all fine rallying behind a black person when they're rallying around their cause. But if it was a black person to lead black people to rally around our cause, it'll get shut down and it'll get shunned, and then they'll have all the other rhetoric that they can come out with. But they're fine with a black person having their cause being led by them if it speaks only to them. And then, if something comes down the line and slings and arrows do hit, it hits the organizer, aka this Ali Alexander character you see on your screen. Let's see. It says, now that 5 people, including a Capitol Police officer, are dead. However, Alexander has gone into hiding, and the website promoting his January 6th rally has been wiped from the internet. Alexander is defiant, saying he won't take an iota of blame that does not belong to me. Well, you know what? He has the palm color thing down to a T. How you not going to take blame for something and you was an organizer of the event? You may not take all the blame, but you have to take a lot of it. And they said he's gone into hiding, which means they are looking for him. His face is out there, so he won't be hard to find. I didn't incite anything, Alexander said in a video posted Friday to Twitter. I didn't do anything. In reality, even as Alexander claimed his supporters were peaceful, he repeatedly raised the prospect of using violence in the weeks ahead of January 6th. On Sunday night, Twitter banned Alexander's personal account and an account for Stop the Steal. Alexander didn't respond to a request for comment. Alexander is a convicted felon after pleading guilty to felony property theft in 2007 and felony credit card abuse in 2008. Alexander first appeared in conservative politics in the Tea Party era under the name Ali Akbar. How interesting. Organizing a group called the National Bloggers Club that was tied to shady data collection operations. So he's just a stone cold criminal all the way around. In the Trump era, now using a new name, Alexander emerged as a idiosyncratic, trash-talking MAGA diehard affiliate with figures like InfoWars, a conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, anti-Muslim Trump booster Laura Loomer, blundering provocateur Jacob Wohl, and Trump ally Roger Stone. Before Trump's 2020 election defeat, Alexander was perhaps best known for Donald Trump Jr. retweeting his groundless claim that Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is not an American black. Well, that's the only thing that I can give him credit for, because she isn't. She isn't even black. He was invited to the White House for Trump's social media summit with various right-wing internet figures and began frequently wearing orange clothes, claiming God had given him a message that the color had special significance for 2020. God gave me the color orange in December 2019, Alexander tweeted on Election Day. He told me orange would be the color of 2020. I've come to learn it means God's power. After Trump's election defeat, Alexander positioned himself as one of the leading Trump re-election dead enders with his Stop the Steal group, which quickly became a clearinghouse for pro-Trump personalities rallying outside of state capitals and contested battleground states. Alexander also stated to promote mega rallies protesting the election results in Washington in November and December, even clashing with rival organizers who deserved credit for the events. He began organizing a protest outside the Capitol for January 6th, dubbing it the Wild Protest after a Trump tweet promising the protest during the electoral vote count will be wild. For January 6th, Alexander claimed in a video he had some organizing assistance from pro-Trump representatives Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, and Mo Brooks. We four schemed up putting maximum pressure on Congress while they were voting, Alexander said in a video posted before the January 6th protest. Gosar and Brooks didn't respond to requests for comment. A spokesman for Biggs disputed Alexander's story, claiming Biggs isn't aware of hearing of or meeting Mr. Alexander at any point and had no contact with protesters or rioters. Alexander's voice grew more menacing in the lead up to the January 6th rally. He tweeted he would give my life for this fight, a call that was promoted by the Arizona Republican Party. Alexander also began tweeting frequently about 1776, a reference to the start of the American Revolution. Alexander wrote in one post that the choice was 45 Trump's re-election or 1776. In another message, he wrote that 1776 is always an option for free men and women. More pointedly, Alexander responded to a tweet from QAnon supporter Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, claiming that the top congressional leaders were working to block objections to the electoral vote. If that happened, Alexander said he and hundreds of thousands of other protesters would 1776 the Capitol. If they do this, everyone can guess what me and 500,000 others will do to that building, Alexander tweeted on December 30th. 1776 is always an option. Now, as I'm reading this, it's amazing how he actually wanted to deny inciting anything, but as I'm reading this, it seems to me that he was inciting it. He actually was really going in. And it's crazy because in 1776, if he is an American born black man, wasn't his ancestors in bondage? Did they get a chance to participate in that or reap the benefits of it if they did? Alexander's anger wasn't limited to Congress. After 4 people were stabbed after a December MAGA protest outside the Hotel Harrington, a downtown Washington hotel popular with Proud Boys, the hotel announced that it would be closed for several days around the January 6th protest. A furious Alexander posted a video filled with threats to the hotel, urging his fans to be extremely high IQ as God enacts his vengeance. Alexander compared his supporters to the snake in the "Don't Tread on Me" Gadsden flag, saying they had been tread on, and noting that the vipers bite. May not one patriot get caught on camera doing anything bad. Well, that didn't age well now, did it? You know, and notice a lot of them on that event was calling themselves patriots. At the December 19th Arizona rally, Alexander kept up his threat that his movement could become violent. He said he wouldn't describe Democrats as burglars in Republican homes, implying that would mean they'd be shot, a metaphor he said wasn't necessary yet. Let them hear that, Alexander said, yet. The night before the January 6th rally, Alexander riled up Trump supporters in Washington with a victory or death chant and once again brought up 1776. 1776 is always an option, Alexander told the crowd. These degenerates in the deep state are going to give us what we want, or we are going to shut this country down. Alexander's wild protest rally was scheduled to take place on the northeast corner of the Capitol's lawn, with a website claiming that Green co-star and Representative Lauren Boebert would all speak at the event. Before the rally, Alexander attended Trump's speech on the White House ellipse, posting a picture from the front row. Nice seats, Alexander tweeted. Thank you, @Real Donald Trump. Alex Jones claims that he and Alexander had some deal with the White House about their protests outside of Congress. We had a legitimate deal with the White House, Jones said in an InfoWars show filmed after the riot with Alexander. Hey, Jones and Ali, literally, they let us out early. We were supposed to lead a peaceful deal. Video posted by InfoWars in an apparent attempt to distance Jones from the riot shows Jones and Alexander on the west side of the Capitol as tear gas canisters went off in the distance and Trump supporters mounted MAGA flags on the inauguration risers. Jones unsuccessfully tried to convince rioters to move to the east side of the Capitol and attend their rally on the other side of the building instead. As much as I love seeing the Trump flags flying over this, we need to not have the confrontation with the police. They're going to make that the story. But Alexander refused to disavow the riot. I don't disavow this, Alexander said in the video film overlooking the Capitol. I do not denounce this. This is completely peaceful. Looks like so far. He thought what they were doing on Wednesday was considered peaceful. This guy's he's all the way gone. Now, Alexander claims to be in hiding, alleging in a video posted Friday that he needs $2,000 a day to fund his security detail and other expenses, and hitting his fans up for donations. In a bizarre moment in his fundraising pitch, Alexander claimed that he was being targeted by the supernatural. Witches and Wiccans are putting hexes and curses on us. So, yeah, this guy is a weirdo. It's not clear how, however, if Alexander's supporter can send him money at all. On Saturday, he posted on Parler that he had been banned from Venmo and PayPal. In his Friday video, Alexander claimed that his rally never turned violent, but Alexander also read a quote from talk radio host Rush Limbaugh that positively compared the rioters to the heroes of the American Revolution and said rioters who entered the Capitol should suffer like consequences, if any. I think people should be rowdy. I think people should be messy, Alexander said. I do believe that we own that U.S. Capitol, so I'm not apologizing for nothing. Yeah, this guy is he definitely has extreme radical views while at the same time thinking that he's doing God's work. Yeah, he's all the way gone. Like, there's no saving this type of person. And they say he's currently in hiding. The thing is, why is he in hiding? Because he know what he did was wrong. He know he fucked up royally. But he has to play this game of, I didn't mess up anything, and it wasn't that bad. But when they find him, oh, they gonna throw the shelf at his ass. I already can see it. And somebody, I bet you, is gonna dime him out. I bet somebody's going to snitch on him, or they're going to reveal where he is. And I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. He, to me, screams that he has suicidal thoughts. Like, he sounds like the person that they won't take in alive. Like, I have a feeling that if they do find him, he probably will be deceased. I could be wrong, but that's just something that kind of sticks out to me. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And I will talk to you in the next one.